Welcome to this waifu anime shooter I believe you gotta try. It's called Strinova. I gotta be honest and say that I've never been much into anime, at least not the style of anime when it comes to these characters you'll come across in Strinova, but since I'm an FPS gamer, I thought I'll play the game and maybe awaken your interest as well. I believe that the game has already been released in China, but the global release should happen soon or in the beginning of 2025. The console version of the game is also in the planning and will be released sometime in 2025 with crossplay enabled. So what the heck is this game then? Well, Strinova is an anime third-person tactical competitive shooter, and you can switch freely between 3-dimensional and 2-dimensional forms in the game, becoming 2D when you have been playing as 3D, which is quite practical when squeezing through some tight openings on the map or a doorway, or as a strategy when it comes to avoiding getting hit when being in a gunfight. On top of that, you can also walk straight up on certain walls, and you can also hang glide or glide, which is a good way to move faster, but also in order to reach some higher ground on the map. When I'm making this video, the Strinova demo is available on Steam if you would like to try out the game yourself. It is a free-to-play PvP shooter with online co-op and in-app purchases. When it comes to languages, you can choose from English, Japanese, simplified or traditional Chinese and Korean. When playing Strinova, you can choose to play, for example, Team Deathmatch and Demolition, and you're able to do that on various multi-layered maps. And here's where some tactical skill and a use of devices comes into play. And of course your skill when it comes to gunplay, because the gunplay felt pretty good and was one of the reasons that I logged into Strinova and played more, alongside with the 3D and 2D gameplay experience as mentioned earlier. Another good thing is that the game can also be played on PCs with pretty low specs, so I therefore thought I'd put up the minimum specs required on the screen so you can see for yourself. So who is this game for? Well, if you like fast-paced shooters with pretty fast respawn times, then this game could be for you. If you're also into the competitive side of things when it comes to shooter game, this game can also be for you, since it has competitive gameplay mechanics and a ranked demolition game mode. The game has a tutorial that will show you the basics of the game, for example when it comes to the 2 and 3D kind of gameplay and also gliding on the map. And it could be so that you'll meet some bots, of course, in the first match you'll get into, but from there you'll encounter real players, at least that's my experience. I briefly mentioned Team Deathmatch and Demolition as an example of game modes in Strinova, but it could be of interest to know that there's an escort game mode, an objective game mode also where the attackers and defenders engage in a tug of war around the payload. This mode features a single round without switching sides. Yeah, I talked about Team Deathmatch. In Strinova it's called Team Arena and it's a 7v7 game mode, or another somewhat harder version of TDM according to the game itself called Scrimmage, I believe, that consists of 3 teams that are hostile to each other. In Scrimmage, the first team to defeat 50 enemies wins, or the team with the highest score wins if no team defeats 50 enemies before the time runs out. Strinova is defined as a third-person shooter, but goes into a first-person mode whenever you aim down sight. Now this works well in Strinova and adds to the fun when it comes to the overall gaming experience. That in combination of getting into 2D mode or paper-thin mode, if you will, adds some cool and fun variation and also strategy into the game that I haven't really seen before. Be aware though that you can't shoot while being in the paper-thin mode, however you can reload, so use it wisely. But all in all, these features add some nice diversity into the game that not only sounds good on the actual paper, but it plays out well in reality. In Strinova, the different characters have their own set of abilities, and the characters also comes with a set of primary and secondary weapons, so you don't buy weapons. They come with the character that you choose to play. And it also differs a bit between some of the game modes, how you can actually use the abilities, and in some of the game modes you can switch characters in-game, which is a good and also fun way to explore the different characters, their weapons and abilities. One variation between game modes worth mentioning is, for example, when you're playing the escort mode, there's an upgrade window opening up where you can upgrade your weapon and your armor, etc. With that said, I believe I'll share my thoughts now when it comes to Strinova and also try to explain what it's about and how it plays and feel. It would be interesting, of course, to hear from you as well if you've tried out the game and what you think. Maybe you're foremost into anime and therefore got into Strinova, or maybe you're more like me FPS or shooter gamer that enjoy to try out new games out there. So I'll leave you now with the end of a scrimmage match, meaning these 3 teams of 3 team deathmatch game, so you'll be able to listen in a bit how the game sounds when being in action. Thanks a lot for watching, and I hope to see you soon again in my next video. Have a great day. Later.
残り1キル。私の走者からは逃げられないわよ。ビクトリー。ファイホができるぞよ。